Okay, so I'm going to do a special here today, where I show you a little bit of something I've been talking about recently, which is the idea of like a suicide queue. Playing off-peak such that your matchmaking takes ages. It expands the search to include not just people around your MMR, but people way, way, way lower. Even worse, you're going to be the highest MMR on your team, and everyone that the game throws you with is going to be lower, and they're not really going to know what they're doing. And it's going to be your job to almost deliver the impossible task of carrying 4 very poor players against an enemy team that will have the same average rating, but it will probably be a bit more spread out between them, and, you know, it's a coin toss, essentially. If we win, we get basically no rating. If we lose a ton. I want to show you guys, when playing a build like Core Guard, so Mesmer is like, Mesmer and Thief, things that can rotate very fast, I think, can kind of escape this a bit. But show you a build just how little we can try and influence this game. So yeah, let's see how it goes, and whether we win, whether we lose, what our point score is. This is actually the second video like this that I've recorded for a while, but I never uploaded the old one. I will upload this though. So yeah, at the start, you'll notice I've cut right at the very beginning. That's because this was an accidental queue. It is 3 in the morning. Don't ask me why I was up at this time. And I was playing a queue, but I was in unranked testing a completely different build, just having fun. And the idea was not to play any ranked, but my muscle memory had me click ranked. And at the very last second, I noticed. So I swapped the build I was on to something that's actually meta and swapped character at the last second. So getting on Core Guard, so I'm at least playing something, you know, pretty good. So we'll see how everything starts. First of all, we have a Necro going to close, when ideally it would be better to have the Thief going to close. Just because he's got the mobility to get there a bit quicker. Also the mobility to just leave and help mid if he gets attacked there. Also because the Reaper is so high value in mid rather than his own. I see here that we've got a target on this Ellie, which I don't really like very much because they can evade a ton. But if I can get lucky with it, I can blow him up. And I know it's the dead of night, and no one here is going to be worth a damn. So we're just going to try it out, and sweet, we actually get the one shot. I even got a 9k crit there, so really quite nice. We could knock him off that node. This Deadeye immediately engages on me, and I notice none of my team's doing anything. My Deadeye's shooting the body, which is a waste of time, in my opinion. Really, what I want is safety. And behind the camera, something's going on that I'm not too sure about just yet. But anyway, so we score a kill. That's pretty good. Looking over at close, we had, I'm assuming that's a Boon Beast that crossed, and we've had our Guardian rotate to that. So we're 2v1 in close right now. So it's very good we got this one shot, because otherwise this is a dead end at mid here, because we should be outnumbered. But it's okay. So now I don't know if this guy's like going to engage on me with pistol whip or something. So I dropped my ring of warding just in case. And then I think he's going to shoot me, so I use my sword 3 out in front. But he's not. This is a body that we've scored, so good. We've won mid. Now there's the Mirage from close that's rotating in. And, like, if we hadn't cleaned this up yet, this is where we would have lost catastrophically. So that's good. He stealths. I don't know if he's coming at me, so I take an untargeted sword 2 at the bottom of the pot and climb on it. And I know that if I get in combat, that he's coming towards me. And now we're kind of 3 people looking at the one Mirage, which isn't very good. I'd expect my Thief to be rotating off already by now. To some extent, I can rotate off too. The Mirage jumped on the Scourge, probably a good idea for him. I don't really have the ports available because I just used the 2 quite aggressively, or, well, defensively, liberally, let's use that term. So anyway, we get down towards the nodes, and we're 3v1ing this Mirage, so it's a terrible play from the Mirage to even come into this. I burst right as he stealths. That's guaranteed to have killed him with that burst. And we can see the body appears here with a Reaper in the area as well. That's pretty nice. So that's good. We've got our 2 cap. We've been securing some good kills. This fight's pushed over towards the roads. But you'll notice here that this guy's leaving. But he's just let us get killed over there by the Deadeye. So no one's really looking at that or doing anything with that. The Soul Beast is here. And we cleave that down. So now it's a rally race. And we want to do as much. So it's a rally race, but I don't think we're going to win it. So what I do is I banish the Weaver. Now, when Weavers give themselves stab, they usually only give it to themselves in increments of 1. So if I do this, and it says immune, I've ripped 1 stab off of him. He now doesn't have any. So anyone else can CC this now and prevent this stomp. Any of them can. Turns out we just cleave through it, so that's fine. And then I press F to sustain the res, because ideally what we can just do is let these bodies rot and start establishing on the map. But my Deadeye wandered away from mid, getting us decapped, and cleaved the body out instantly for no reason. So now we've lost far, we've lost close, and we've been decapped in mid. So for all the killing we've been doing, we are now 5-man zerging right here onto this Ellie body. Oh, we're not 5-man zerging, sorry, because obviously the guy died at close, so the Guardian is on respawn. He doesn't appear on respawn up here, but it's only because he's just getting back into the map. So anyway, once again, enemy Deadeye stealths. I throw some random projectile mitigation just in case a Death's Judgment will come. What you gotta understand with that is, if they've just stealthed from on dodge or whatever, they might only be in that window with access to Death's Judgment for a very small window. And so, putting a little bit of projectile mitigation out there forces them to use another stealth cooldown to then trigger it. Or, it just covers that little gap for you. Hopefully I've described that well. Anyway, so the firebrand's on the node, and really I want to hit him. I used the heal there quite early. Not entirely sure why. Maybe I was thinking the Deadeye was going to do something. Anyway, Mirage is coming in. Preemptive Ring of Warding is really good against that Mirage there. We do a bit of damage. We want the enemy Deadeye is probably the best target. I get blinded right as I'm going to go for that. This Mirage is still on me a lot, though. So, we got to be really careful of this. I blow Smite Condition here, and the hope is that it will cleave these things out. It doesn't quite. This is a good counter to the Mirage builds, honestly. That Hammer 2 as well could have been really excellent if the Mirage was standing in the wrong place, but they were fine. So, I've pulled all the way back here, and our Reaper has been killed. The Guardian's reclaimed close, so that's nice. This Reaper has just used Chill to the Bone, but it's still bleeding pretty heavily. Nonetheless, because the CC's there, I can take my burst in. And if they attempt to res, we can cleave down, the Firebrand at the same time, which is exactly what we do. Really, really crazy play from the Firebrand there. The Weaver comes in and goes for a res. I regret that this guy died as fast as he did, because I could have hit that so much harder and for so much longer. I have a feeling that this player would probably just stand there trying to do it. Anyway, so now he's dodging, and you see I just swung the camera slightly to the right. What I'm hoping is my Thief will res my downstate Reaper, and together they'll kill the Deadeye. But my Thief doesn't do that, and my Reaper gets stomped. And now he's stealthing and doing nothing, so I'm the only target in the area. So now I'm against a Weaver that I've got no really... well, there is a win condition against this Weaver, because he's already blown a lot of dodges, so there'll be a point in a minute where he doesn't really have many, or we'll find the right window, and together, us two can kill him. But this guy's going to opt to just stealth, and do nothing, and I'm going to take all the pressure. So as soon as I see that, I start chaining dodges, I go into my elite, and I'm going to start kiting around the pot here, because I need to, I need to obstruct and whatnot. He starts shooting the Weaver instead of the Deadeye, who's an easy kill, and now he's getting shot by the Deadeye. Another stealth comes up, and obviously I'm trying to gap close to the right area. What's been going on the rest of the map? I don't really know. This Reaper obviously died a second ago because our Deadeye, let him die. I guess we've just been 2v1 in close for ages against that one Ranger. That's it. That's all we've been doing. And the Deadeye now, this is at Bell. He's just buggered off. He said, go on and enjoy yourself, Mr. Core Guard. You can kite 3 of them around. And I do. I do kite 3 of them around. In fact, I score a kill. I've just killed this Thief with the Thief fighting me, the Weaver fighting me, the Firebrand on respawn, this Mirage on respawn. It's crazy. And I've got the downstate here, so I just need my team to do something. They finally killed the Soul Beast. Deadeye free capping Bell. So, I take this pressure. We've still not died yet this game, just as a reminder. And I need to, kite away a bit. I see that we've got an ally in for the cleave, so this is good. So I come in with the sword. We got to do a lot of pressure because there's a double res going on here, potentially a triple res. He ports away from his own res, which is awful. I'm still getting hit really hard, and I don't quite have any damage up. As soon as the sword 2 is available, really, I see that it's still there. I turn around right towards the end. We get another one. We hammer 2, and we score a kill on the Firebrand with that hammer 2. We can use shelter. We can cleave these down. Our Zerg has reappeared. We port in. This blows up as well, thanks to the Reaper's chill proc. What's that called again? Chilling Nova, I think it's called. So one of us has to cap. They're all running off. And look, we've been decapped close again, instantly. So I'm 8-0 right now, and I'm not very happy about any of this. Has anyone gone far at any point this entire game? I mean, I would, but I've been literally caught fighting in mid the entire time too. I don't think I've played bad, personally. I don't think I've missed any opportunities. If anything, I think if I'd missed any of these engagements, they would have completely failed and melted. So the Deadeye runs forward. I tether him. He stealths on the node, so he's not decapping it. My problem is, once again, though, that my entire team has zerged away. They have no conception that there's respawns. So that fight we just won, they're just going to all come back to me, and I'm the only one here. And it was a miracle that I scored a kill last time. So what can I do? Well, the Deadeye could help me, but no, now he's going for the decap. So what I have to do is kite and stay alive and away. I'm going to lose the node, so we're back to earning no points here. But I have to do this. So I come up to the back. Hit the Deadeye, the enemy Deadeye as best as possible. Sorry I'm saying Deadeye so much. Hopefully you guys understand. The Mirage is on me. So I'm 1v3 here, kiting and surviving. The idea here was that he'd come in and I'd hammer to, like, against the pot. But because I have target on him, I move slightly to the left and I go over the edge, which is kind of lame. So anyway, I just kite around here, hugging the wall as much as possible to obstruct the scepter stuff. Don't have a ring of warding or anything. I come back around again. There's still 3 enemies here. Mirage just stealthed, Firebrand doing nothing, Deadeye doing nothing, and we have been unable to... So, okay, let's look at what my team did. This Necromancer, the Deadeye rotated to far to decap it. Now, the idea of taking just a decap instead of the full cap is that you then hammer together another fight. But as he rotates off with just the decap, my Necromancer decides he wants the full cap and basically eliminates all value that the Deadeye got here. Which means I'm kiting 3 players for no reason because they're just all being so slow. And even worse, basically what I'm telling you is that this Necro's done nothing for a good while now. This Deadeye's done nothing for a good while. To be fair to the Deadeye, the only reason his play is so crap is because of the Necros. And we've got a 2v2 still in progress, right? This Deadeye is now coming to mid where there's going to be... I've not unloaded down... He has no... quick plus he can deliver here. Maybe if he spikes the enemy Deadeye, comfortably enough, but we saw how badly he was doing with that. That was a second ago. What my allied Deadeye could do right now is go to the 2v2 that's been going on for ages and finish that and swing that because there'll be cooldowns. They've all been blown on both sides there, and that's a massive play. The enemy team should be getting punished really hard for having 3 players essentially AFK. They all died in a team fight. Now they've wandered here and done nothing except cap this node. They should be getting punished, but they're not because, I mean, there's just no sense or logic to anything anyone's doing. They think as long as they're walking towards a node, it's a good play, and it's just so often not. So anyway, meanwhile, I'm doing stuff with this Mirage and cleaving the clones down, and we get them all, so I don't have to be too afraid, but all of my cooldowns are up now. Which is volatile, I chance an immob because I'm wondering what the hell this guy's doing. And maybe the immob will land. And instead they just decide they want to have a dual server. They just want a 1v1 in the middle there. I can't really do much against the Firebrand here either. Maybe my play here, maybe this is a mistake. Because maybe my play is to rotate to close and be that plus that I want to see. My Necromancer also is rotating the long way around to mid. For some reason, he's decided to take a leisurely route around towards the red spawn. Instead of just directly coming back along the pathways. I'm obviously all the focus because this guy's just standing around stealthing. The Mirage has now wandered all the way over. I think my allies are just losing their 2v2 anyway. So now I'm dead. And the worst thing is, it's right as the Reaper comes in. So maybe I've made a mistake there. Maybe I really, really needed to think very carefully about that Reaper coming in. And I needed to come behind the pots or something. But look, they're never going to win this now because they've lost on close. And now the Soul Beast is rotating in. This is an impossible game to win. I mean, you might say I've not been high value kiting 3 players around for a while, but if I'm at -2, we should have other stuff. And look at this, the Necro just immediately got instant full capped back against us. So it's Bell, and my Deadeye thinks he's gonna 1vx at Bell, and look at how early he's there and how long he's just waiting. So have fun with that. So This is the moment where if I had a heavy mobility class, I could maybe do something. I could quickly decap this, quickly decap fast, score some quick pluses in, get some downs, do something. But it's too much. Nonetheless, I know that my only win condition now, the only reason we were ever in it was because I was 8-0 and swinging team fights. I have to be at a fight. Have to be. They're losing every single engagement otherwise. So I have to decap that. And now we see what we can swing at Bell. And then we're going to have to decap on Far. So I'm looking here, and they haven't established on the node or done anything. So by the time I even get... Maybe I could have sawed 2 judges onto that against a Firebrand to delay the Bell cap for a couple more seconds. But the Bell has been fired, basically, before I can even do anything. So, what's my next play? Well, I'm going to go Far, and then I see that they've actually scored a down. So I'm like, hell yes, they've scored a down. They've done something. So I immediately come in. Instead, I change my plan, and I burst. And the idea is to get the Weaver at the same time as well. But the Weaver goes for evades. So I've cleaved the body out. That's all right, I guess. And now I'm going for Far. The Deadeye engages on me, and I'm going to fight him back. I know that I can do that reasonably well. Doesn't matter that we're on the road. The fight is very important here. I'm getting hit pretty hard by 2. The Weaver was on me, the Deadeye was on me, and this Mirage has just jumped on me here. The Weaver's disengaging, and the Deadeye's disengaging, but the Mirage decides he wants to continue having a pop. And this is pretty bad, because I've got to actually stay alive here. So I kite him around on the crates. The idea is if I see a shatter, I can get on the crate, and I'll be fine. So now the Mirage is going to leave. So that's good, and I know I need to score a decap on Far. Well, okay, so here's a big moment of decision-making. I could swing the mid-fight, but we are about 200 points behind. And the fights are important, but at some point you start... When the deficit gets too high, I am of the opinion you have to, like, make a risky play to be able to do something. You know, eventually you are forced to make a suboptimal play. And I think I'm sort of getting near that situation right now. The hope is just that they'll win somehow there, right? And I can decap this and go... And I'm not going for full cap. I have to be at a fight and win and do something. So we take that, and now it's like, right, what can we push? We're going towards mid. Someone in chat thinks that, you know, capping is the most important thing here. But the only reason we've stalled them getting points is because of my decaps on the other nodes here. This guy's down. So what we're going for is a rally, but Dagger Storm. So I can't do anything there. You see I was in the middle of Hammer 2 and Dagger Storm triggered. So I don't judge. I turn around, and now we got to go for the CC. Again, it's a situation where he may have only used 1 charge, right? So, and he has of his mantra. So I CC with the Banish. Get rid of it. All this guy has to do, and you can see there's no more stab there. All he has to do is use his downstate skill, and hopefully a little bit earlier. But instead he... Oh, no, he does do it. He does do it. So we knock him back. I guess he just gets cleaved out too fast, though, I suppose. Well, that's fair enough. That's not necessarily my team's bad, except for dying in the first place. So anyway, I burst the Firebrand and kill the Firebrand. Now I've got to kill the Firebrand to rally my ally, and the enemy Deadeye is going to, you know, try and stomp as well. It's okay, because I'm a core guard. I have really easy access to stab, so I've done that. Very quick stomp. And my stomp is finished here. And this player, this Reaper, a point-blank AoE pressure builds, hasn't even done a lick of damage to this, so he doesn't rally. So, he's dead. So now I have to fight the Deadeye, and all the while I'm being capped by the Soul Beast behind me. I have a... What's he been doing? I don't know. What has he been doing? How long's he been at the fight? What's going on? So now the Mirage has jumped me with the Soul Beast. I think maybe even in a 1 wolf pack. And I'm downstate. And this is... Wait, is this my first down of the game? Or did I die earlier as well? But anyway, it's over now. The game is... Look at the point score right now. I've been relentless in what I've been attempting to do here. I've not wasted a second, I don't think, in this game. Maybe there have been 2 or 3 moments of decision making that you could say, oh, maybe WP, you should have zerged with them harder, or maybe you should have gone fast straight away. But it, you know, hindsight is 20/20 in the it's very easy to sit there after a match and say, oh, you should have done this to carry it, you should have done this. But there is a certain expectation that people have certain roles and will rotate in certain ways, all right? So yeah, this is what I call a suicide queue, because it's so hard to win quite often. There's just no sense to what anyone's doing in a game. And now here's the downside. And so I even went for a self-res there because maybe there was something I could have done. So now, here's the question. What do we lose from it? Because the game is going to see that I, as a Plat 2 player, have just lost to, like, low golds. Alright? So what happens? We lose 33 rating. We go from about the middle of Plat 2 there, back down to Plat 1. 33 rating, okay? So this is what I've been trying to demonstrate to you guys. This is why Guild Wars, I think, one of the big reasons why Guild Wars burns obsessive nerds that would otherwise get quite into the game and quite competitive and play a lot. Because there are wide periods of time during the day that they are being told by the system they cannot queue. And so hopefully this demonstrates it very well, and that forces people, and that is just an issue that perpetuates itself. And there's got to be something done at some point. I hope that the devs even know about this, that can kick that back, because this is one of the things I think that does cripple the scene. It pushes people to unranked, it pushes people to gimmicks and silly things, and in the end they just, and it feels bad to know that the population isn't there to sustain. I'm not a great player, guys. I'm not a great player. I'd like to be able to queue any time of the day. I know it's the middle of the night, right? But you'd like to think if you're playing a AAA contemporary game that you can queue anytime and get a reasonable match. That is what you'd like to think. And with Guild Wars 2, you can't. Especially on EU, where these dead periods are pretty significant. So, yeah. That's how, by the way, I lost my mid-Plat 3 a few days ago as well, because I tried to grind through. And believe me, if I'd won, I'd get like +4. Ooh. It's not worth it. You just can't play for certain periods of time. Anyway, there you go. Hope you enjoyed. You can let me know in the comments all the terrible plays I made, and I'll see you next time.